President Jacob Zuma, they announcing the Seriti Commission of Inquiry's findings into the Arms Deal Commission. Of course, it was a commission that took 4 years, and 110 million rand later, the president clearing many of the misconceptions, he says, and the questions that have been raised around the Commission of Inquiry, why it was set up. The president saying that the commission has found that it was necessary to acquire all the arms and equipment, that the arms and equipment here that were acquired have been well used, that they've not only reached the projected job opportunities but actually exceeded those. He says the offsets that were set to take place as a result of the arms deal, they've all materialized. Adequate measures have been put in place to ensure that all the agreements made will be seen through. He's found the commission has also found that there has been no undue influence, particularly in the role of tendering and of course the bidding process, and that there was also widespread allegations of bribery and fraud. But the commission has found that there were no individuals who unduly influenced the process of tendering for the arms deal, and that basically it's all systems go and nothing seems to be wrong here. Of course, there'll be plenty of reaction to this when the commission was concluded in December 2015 rather. We're in 2016. So in 2015, when the presidency received the final report of this commission, there was of course a lot of backlash, particularly from several rights groups and of course opposition parties who questioned the legitimacy not only of the Seriti Commission but also saying that it was a whitewash, as the process it followed actually did not allow for the necessary questions to be asked. There were questions around the evidence that was provided to those who are going to be standing before, who are going to be providing evidence to the commission, the nature of questions that were asked by the evidence leaders. And so certainly today will no doubt come as no surprise to many of the critics of the Seriti Commission. In studio with me, our reporter Nickolaus Bauer. He's of course been following this case closely. He covered quite a bit of the inquiry as it took place over this period. Nickolaus, 4 years is up, 110 million rand spent, and the president finally saying that the matter can be put to rest today. Have the questions been answered?
Well, certainly from government's point of view, they have. No corruption or bribery could be found in the deal by the Judicial Commission of Inquiry. No bribes from companies to any government officials. All equipment was needed and used, and even 11,000 jobs were created. I'm sure, though, for critics of the arms deal, as well as analysts, they will say that in many ways, so many questions still need to be answered. And also, you have to look at how the commission itself was conducted to maybe be left with a feeling that indeed it didn't go the full distance. It didn't cover the full scope of what was needed to be covered to get to the bottom of the arms deal itself. Just one thing that needs to be brought to everybody's attention is that this commission was just shrouded in controversy from the get-go. We can't forget that Judge Francis Lekhodi, one of the commissioners, or one of 3 commissioners that was originally assigned to the commission, he resigned the day before, and that was preceded by a flurry of resignations by evidence leaders and other key researchers that all claimed that this commission was essentially a whitewash, that it was being formed to create an impression that the arms deal was being thoroughly investigated, but the terms of reference and the way in which the commission was going to conduct itself, it wasn't actually going to find anything of significance. Well, now we know that the report has come out, nothing untoward has been found. Maybe there is some truth to those allegations. We don't know. They haven't been tested in a court of law or anything like that. But Judge Willie Seriti's decision not to permit a damning legal report as evidence, suggesting that German arms dealer Ferristal paid multi-million rand bribes connected to the deal, is certainly a massive question mark that still hangs over this commission. I mean, it's to me the evidence that was led by people that came to testify before the commission at every single corner, especially arms deal critics. At the end of the day, yes, they weren't able to bring any hard evidence themselves before the commission. But each and every single person that came before the commission and said, here's hard evidence. Here's a legal report suggesting that there were bribes paid. Judge Willie Sariti said that it would not be admitted as evidence as it was part of privileged attorney-client information. It was put together by a law firm for Ferristal itself. So, yes, well, the report has essentially found no wrongdoing. There are still question marks that remain.
And that's part of the reason why its critics would say that it was fundamentally flawed, because when we look at what some of the investigators of the Arms Deal Commission, such as Paul Holden, who's co-authored the book, The Devil is in the Detail, and how the arms deal changed everything. Much of where the truth about what happened, of where that needed to come out, was in the detail, and much of that not really being allowed to come through in the Commission of Inquiry.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, besides this legal report not being allowed to be admitted as evidence, there was denying the right to re-examine witnesses, withholding other vital evidence as well. And you just have a look at the names of the people that decided to call it a day on their involvement during the course of the commission. It was painted as personal reasons, but you had senior investigators Mohlahlana Moabi, legal researchers in Kate Painting, as well as evidence leaders Taob Abubakar, Barry Skinner, Carol Sabir. They all left under this cloud of controversy that this was in fact a cover-up at the end of the day. And certainly when you are denying key evidence from being admitted to the record, well, I mean, you are only going to find what you are. Well, you are only going to find what you admit to the record to be investigated and make a decision on. I mean, even if there is solid evidence, if that report, if that information is not permitted, it's obviously not going to come out in the report either.
Given the nature of the scandal that the arms deal was, I mean, we saw it play out over 3 different presidencies and different Chapter 9 institutions investigating it, anti-corruption bodies, and yet still not enough had been uncovered in terms of factual evidence that could be presented before a court of law. Does this Commission of Inquiry, the conclusion of it now and the release of the report, means that this is essentially the end of the road?
Well, I really don't see how arms deal critics can mount any sort of challenge from now on. I mean, for all intents and purposes, government could say, well, look, you have all these allegations that you've brought before us. We've had a 4-year-long Commission of Inquiry. Surely all your questions have been answered. Now let's just move on with life. But still, I mean, I'm sure everybody that found the arms deal to be wanting will find these findings to be unacceptable, essentially. I mean, to find that all of the equipment is needed and used, very well it may be needed for peacekeeping purposes and the like, but is it being adequately used at the moment? I mean, it still is open to interpretation whether or not all of the military hardware that was included in the deal is being used to the best of its capabilities, and also these 11,000 jobs as well. I'm sure that there will be some questions over that. But in terms of challenging the outcome of the report and what the report is saying, and continuing to challenge government's decision to spend billions of rands on military hardware, I would say this is very, very close to the end of the road.
All right, Nickolaus Bauer in studio for us. Of course, he covered a part of the Commission, Seriti Commission of Inquiry for us. We'll bring you plenty of more reaction when we continue, of course, to speak to the various groups that have been advocating for this commission to go ahead and what the impact of it on South Africa really was. So do stay with us.